for when I met Robert was musicians to play on a tape with. Maybe get together with somebody and write a song, but be essentially a demo for me, so I could get a solo deal.
Before meeting up with Robert, I mean, when you met up with him, I guess you pretty much figured that he was the one to go with. Once you started writing songs.
Yeah, because I was sort of asking around my friends, do you know of any guitar players or anybody who be interested in just writing songs or playing on a tape with me. It was just going to be strictly a studio project, and he was just one of the. I mean, there was a couple of other guys that I knew, but and then maybe we even got into the practice space one time and sort of jammed on something, and tried to write a song together, but it never happened.
When is it that you decided to commit yourself to music as a career? Go professional?
I think it was probably right when the Young Snakes ended, and I just sort of really thought very seriously about what I wanted to do, and I thought, well, I've gotten deeply enough into this music thing to know what I don't want, and I think that there may be a possibility that I actually have some talent that somebody might want to pay attention to sometime in the future. So now it's just a matter of making tapes and meeting people that can help me, because I couldn't do it all on my own.
No idea, say at the age of 13, that you would say.
No. I mean, one time when I was about 8 years old, I thought I'd like to be a singer, but I had never sung a note in my life. So what did I know? And I remember one time as a kid, one of my brothers had a little tape recorder, so I took it out into the porch, and I thought, I've got to know if I could ever sing. And I had never sung anything, right? I didn't sing along to the radio. I didn't sing anything, and I recorded myself singing like a line from a song. I listened back to it, and I thought, I'm in trouble.
The Berklee Institute.
Yeah, Berklee College of
Music.
Music.
College of Music. You had no intention of going pro at that time?
I really didn't. I had been out of high school for a year, and I was waiting tables, and I thought, anything's better than waiting tables. I really wanted to go to college, and my father was very encouraging, and, he thought, my father actually wanted me to go to art school, which is not exactly the standard dad saying, get a real job. And I was as interested in art as I was photography, as I was music, I really was sort of drifting around, didn't know what to do. And the thing about Berklee was that you didn't have to audition to get in, you could just get in there and learn. So if you had any raw talent, you'd eventually find it out. You didn't have to, really be able to do anything, but if you had the aptitude, you could find out. And so I just wanted to find out.
You said you wanted to go to college?
Yeah. I wanted to go to some college. Why not go to this college? Why not to go to music school? Sounded like fun. No auditions. I'd get in. All I had to do was pay. So, just a better way of killing time than waiting on tables.
Music, though. Was it the actual new wave stuff, or was it Berklee?
It's hard to say. New wave got me interested in music, and got me thinking that maybe there was a place for me in music. And Berklee made me think that maybe I actually had some talent, and being in the Young Snakes made me feel that I could actually be some sort of a performer and have some sort of, personality as a performer. And so I guess it was just the three things, as I got deeper into music. And then, as I was in a band for 2 years and got really into the whole music scene and the whole vibe of gigging and wanting to make records and then coming out of the Young Snakes and meeting people who are more professional and realizing there was really another whole world to music. That the Young Snakes world was playing these little underground clubs and sort of being involved like with other bands in the scene and like not really looking beyond that. And once I got out of the Young Snakes and met this guy in the Ministry and met other people and some producers and engineers, I realized it was really a big world. There was like the music business, and then if you were smart about things, you could succeed in it. So it was really just a series of steps as I got deeper and deeper and deeper into it and learned more and more about it, and learned more about what I wanted to do and what I was able to do. I mean, I didn't really think that I had, the more talent I realized I had, the more I would sort of see what I had to do, or just sort of see into this vast world of the music business. I mean, it's very easy to be very short-sighted about things. So, condense that one.
You were rather unusual in that you put together a demo and, without spending a lot of time on the live circuit, without going through the indies and all that stuff, you kind of went straight to the top.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just that we all felt like we had wasted so much time with other bands, and, I felt like it'd take me so long to just realize that I wanted to be a singer, and that I could be a singer, and that I could write the kind of songs that I wanted to write, because being in Young Snakes, I sort of felt like, love songs are out, pretty songs are out. So it took me so long to come to the conclusion that it's what I wanted to do, that that we were all really frustrated. We said, we've made our mistakes in other bands, and we're not going to make mistakes now. Okay, now the first thing to do is rehearse day and night, and we played our first show within like 3 weeks of meeting Joey, and we just wrote songs, all the time, and we went out with 8 or 9 songs and played our first gig and just kept playing and playing and playing, and just in one town in Boston we played probably 3 times a week. So I mean, we didn't have tons of experience, but but we were very diligent. I mean, as diligent as you could possibly be having a day job. And we made a tape, and then we met our managers, and we made another tape, and the second tape was the one that we played for record companies. So we just tried to do everything quickly and work as hard as we could, and because we felt like we had paid enough dues. It's time to, it was time to get serious and stop kidding ourselves, and that was one of the things that really, I think, made us go, is that we didn't delude ourselves. We didn't say, oh, this tape is great, this song is great. We'd listen to it as if it was something on the radio and say, well, if this was played on the radio, I'd tear it apart.
He's kind of amazed at as mentioned a second ago, the pace, having scored a contract with a major record company, and then hitting it so big with your first single.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, top 10 single, but it did take a long. It was released in February, and it wasn't until like July that it was in the top 10. So it really did take a long time in terms of most other singles. I mean, and it always seemed to us like, come on, where's the contract? Let's go. We were doing everything right. What's the delay? So but we definitely weren't one of those bands that had to slog it out on the field for years and years. But I think that's because we refused, and we didn't want to make any mistakes with this band. We didn't take a long time. We talked about the sort of sound we wanted, and we tried to be as painstaking as we could in making sure, that all of the members wanted to have the same, could produce that same sound. So, we didn't go through a lot of transformations and, start like a funk phase into a rock phase into this, like we didn't want to follow trends. We just wanted to sound like we wanted to sound. So we were, we had our sound fairly together when we started. We didn't really need to evolve as much as other bands because we had already been through our punk phase, our underground arty phase, our heavy metal phase. It's like everybody had already gone through that, and pretty much knew what they wanted to play.
Although it did take the single a while to hit the top of the chart there, it did hit big nonetheless. So when it came around to making the second album, did you feel like under pressure, or did you have any trouble? Were you confused, like in trying to surpass your original success?
No, not at all. And this is probably the reason. We released 2 other singles after that, which did nothing. So we thought, how are you supposed to duplicate? I mean, unless you write a song that, you know, rips off the first song and is, you know, almost exactly the same. You can't, you know, and then maybe we even got into the practice space one time and sort of jammed on something and tried to write a song together, but it never happened.
When is it that you decide to commit yourself to?
Just writing, you know, writing songs or playing on a tape with me, you know. Just getting, it was just going to be strictly a studio project, and he was just one of the. I mean, there, you know, there was a couple of other guys that I knew, but
Music as a career? Go professional?
I think it was probably, you know, right when the Young Snakes ended, and I just sort of, for when I met Robert, was musicians to play on a tape with, maybe get together with somebody and write a song, but be essentially a demo for me so I could get a solo deal.
Before meeting up with Robert, I mean, when you met up with him, I guess you pretty much figured that he was the one to go with. Once you started writing songs.
Yeah, because I was sort of asking around my friends, you know, do you know of any guitar players or, you know, anybody who'd be interested in